going on, guys? So today we are going to be doing some pan fishing. I got my Croix Avid Panfish rod, 6'4", light power, fast action, and at least to start, hope I remember to clip this end later on after I finish this intro. But to start out, we're going to be fishing the Nico caddisfly. So little soft plastic. Love the Nico line of products because they are super stretchy, super durable. They don't rip, and they catch fish. And we got that on a 1/32 ounce jig head. And yeah, I really got to clip that before I start fishing. But yeah, it is late April right now, so hopefully some of these larger panfish are in the shallow spawning. The goal is going to be some big jumbo-sized bluegills, but I'm not going to be too picky today. So we'll see what we can get. So let's go ahead and let's give it a shot. Alright, so here's just a little bit better look at the Nico caddisfly. I think it's 1.8 inches or something like that on a little white jig head. I did clip that little tag end of the knot. Got my Avid Panfish rod. Really like this rod. Been fishing it on and off now for, I don't know, half a year or so. Works pretty well. So let's flip this little jig around and let's see what we can get here. Oh, there's a fish. That's a little guy, but let's take a look at him. Alright, so fish number one is a little juvenile Mayan cichlid. So, not a bluegill, not a big fish, but I guess one is better than none. So not a bad start. Let's get this guy back, let's keep fishing, and let's hope the day improves. Got him. Let's see what this is. Not that big, but bigger. Maybe. Slightly bit bigger Mayan. Alright, so it's a slightly bit bigger Mayan. This guy hit really well. I thought it was going to be an okay sized largemouth, but instead it's just a below average Mayan cichlid. There's a fish. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a nice bluegill. Oh, I spoke a second too soon. That was a nice bluegill. That's exactly what we were going after. I don't know if I jinxed myself or what, but we lost it. Yep, very next cast. This one's a little bit bigger. I don't think this is going to be a bluegill. Nope, that's a Mayan. Alright, so it's the biggest fish and the biggest Mayan of the day, but I much rather would have lost this guy if we could have caught that bluegill I lost literally 30 seconds before this guy. So let's get this one back over here on the side. I'm going to try to fish this area here a little bit more, see if I can get another nice bluegill to hit the lure. There we go. That's going to be another Mayan. A lot of orange, and he is fighting well like these guys usually do. Tire himself out a little bit. I think he just wrapped himself up in a bunch of junk. Even so, these guys fight pretty well. If there was a bluegill here, this guy definitely just scared him off.
That's a pretty good sized Mayan. Alright, biggest fish of the day for sure. This guy, he fought pretty well, but no match for that light-powered Avid Panfish from St. Croix. If I was fishing like an ultralight or an extra ultralight, would have had some trouble with this guy. But, yep, let's get him back. Definitely scared all the fish off in here. So let's keep moving down. So I really do enjoy fishing this rod. Number one, very sensitive. I can feel all the hits really well. I can feel the algae and all the grasses I brush up against. Very comfortable rod to hold. I think I just had a bite there. I did have a bite there. That's what I get for talking to you guys. So I felt the bite really well, even though I was literally just holding it like this. I didn't have full contact on the rod. Felt the bite, but we lost the Nico caddisfly. So let me get another one on there and let me finish saying what I was talking about. All right, we got a new caddisfly on there. So what I was saying is I really like fishing this rod. It is very sensitive, very comfortable handle, doesn't have any threads that grind into you. Nicely made, good quality. But let's talk about the light power real quick. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll know how much I like ultralight fishing. And I mean, technically this isn't ultralight fishing, it's pretty close. But when you're fishing these kind of lakes where there's a lot of algae, earlier I was fishing over on that side where there's all those like thick grasses close to shore. It's dangerous when you're fishing an ultralight, or I even have an extra ultralight. So whenever you hook up a fish near any sort of structure like this, it's scary. This light power, it just gives you that little bit extra backbone to muscle some of these like Mayan cichlids from out of the structure. It gives you a better chance of catching them. And even though I haven't used it yet for crappie on Lake Okeechobee, I think it would be great for that kind of fishing, just where the fish are a little bit bigger. Crappie are going to be a little bit bigger than bluegills, and I've seen some videos and whatnot of what crappie fishing on Lake Okeechobee looks like. And when you're fishing those like thick grasses, I think a rod like this would be perfect. Little extra backbone to muscle those things on out of there. But really have no complaints with this rod. I've been fishing it for about 6 months now. It gets the job done. Definitely recommend it. It's still not a St. Croix rod I fished that I haven't liked, but this one of the better ones. Oh, just got hit. Got a bluegill. All right, so first true kind of target species of the day that we got on the bank. It is an adult bluegill, but he's not that big. The one I lost a little bit earlier was probably a couple inches bigger than this guy. And obviously, there's not a direct correlation between length and weight, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So even though that fish was only a couple inches longer, he was also a lot thicker, a lot heavier. But yeah, first bluegill of the day. Let's keep going.
Alright guys, so that's gonna do it, and it was a somewhat average day here in South Florida on just like a random little community park lake type thing. There are some really nice sized bluegills here, which is why I usually keep coming to this lake. I love catching some big jumbo bluegills. One, because they're a really beautiful looking fish, and two, because they're native. I like catching these native fish more than these non-native cichlids. But like anywhere in South Florida, you're going to get a bunch of Mayan cichlids, and that was the story today. They put up a good fight. But yeah, still not my favorite. Would have liked to have caught some more bluegill and some nice sized bluegill. That one I lost was a really, really nice sized one. I think I kind of screwed up on that one. I tried to kind of muscle him out instead of just kind of letting the rod do the work and let him tire himself out a little bit. But anyway, so Avid Panfish, great rod. Handled these Mayan cichlids really well. It's a good, strong rod if you want to catch some larger fish, and it's still super, super sensitive where you can feel all these little bites. And then when it comes to the lure of the day, I love the Nico line of soft plastics. I love the Nico caddisfly. However, I think I'm noticing that the scream color does not work as well as the mudbug color. I've used the mudbug color before. It's kind of like a more natural brown, and it's a small sample size. I've only fished this thing a couple times. I've only fished the mudbug color a couple times, but I think I'm noticing that the mudbug color produces more hits, just more action. So I'll keep fishing this thing. But when I break this one off, I think I'm going to go back to the mudbug, and we'll see if I could confirm my suspicion here that the mudbug color works better. Anyway, still a pretty good way to spend a Friday afternoon here on a South Florida lake. Some Mayan cichlids and one bluegill is not a bad day at all. So hope you guys liked it, and I will see you next time.